he never took possession of that money directly, but also that $1 million+ that was not just from Goldman Sachs. I believe there was also money from Citibank. And don't forget, he lied about the narrative of where that money came from, but he used campaign donor money to pay that money back. So he never paid it back. So therefore, it was really never his. He was never responsible for it. He was never out that money. Him and his wife never cashed out one single thing. And here's what's even more troubling. And I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well. So I know last time when I called in, I kind of talked over you when I heard it, but I'm sorry. So here's what's really troubling. They're all over the internet distributing this one document from his Senate financial reportings claiming, oh, see, I told the public this. But if you look on that form, first of all, that's not a form that, while the public is able to find that form, if they know to look for it, that's not a campaign finance form, first of all. But second of all, on that report, he only lists $100,000, and it doesn't say that it was for the campaign. So he reported that he got a $100,000 loan from Goldman Sachs, but he didn't say that it was for the campaign. It wasn't the full amount, and there was no mention that that money was paid back from campaign donors. Not a dime came out of his own pocket. So,
well, he's not the first one to do something like this, and we know that campaigns in the past that have done stuff like this. I think the Clintons even got slapped for this once before. They get fined, but then everything just everything is copacetic and moves on. But what you're saying is you think it's a little bit deeper than that, than just an accounting error or a memory lapse.
Yeah, it's definitely not an accounting error. I mean, there's just no way that it could be, just because he did report the numbers on his original campaign finance forms through the FEC. But again, he lied about where that money came from, if you follow what I'm saying. So he reported. So this thing with him saying, oh, I forgot, or, oh, sorry, I'll go fix it. Well, no, he lied about it originally on the form way back in 2012. So it's not like he forgot to report it. He did report it. He just said it was his own money. He didn't say it was a loan from anywhere. You follow what I'm saying? So he knew then what he was doing. His treasurer must have been in on it, and his treasurer can be in very deep doggy doo-doo for this, okay? I mean, this is, a violation of federal law. This is a really big deal. And yes, I know a lot of people have probably done this, but we all know how this administration is. If you're a conservative, you're going to get spanked for it. You know what I mean? But it is a big deal.
I'm not going to gloss this over. I'm really not. And I would be lying, which I do not lie to you. I'd be lying if I said this does not bother me, because it does. And I hear what you're saying, and I'm reading the report, and I was looking it over. And again, it was in my paper pile, and I if you didn't call, I probably would not have gotten to it today. So I do thank you for your call on that and bringing this and helping me bring this forward, because this is troubling. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people are behind Donald Trump, because Donald Trump isn't taking money from anybody. I know a lot of people are trying to send Trump money, and I don't know what he's going to do. Trump is – I heard a number that Trump actually raised without raising, because he was telling people he doesn't want their money or send it. But the man has already raised like $3 to $5 million from people just sending him money that he doesn't want.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and just little people money. And when you're a candidate and you're running a campaign, the main reason why you want that money is not just for the sake of having the money, but it's because these are people who are investing in you. So they're vested in your campaign. And that's like, for me, let's say I send Donald Trump $100 or something, right? I mean, it's meaningless to him, financially, but to me, it makes me a donor. It makes me a shareholder. It makes me proud to be part of something. And that's really a big part of, when you're running for office. And that's why I was a little bit upset when Donald Trump was like, I don't want super PACs, I don't want this or that, because he clearly did not comprehend that these people want to be part of his campaign, and that's one of the ways that people can be a part of the campaign. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I fully understand it, but I also understand that Donald Trump is trying to put forth a certain image that he's not beholden to anybody. That because he's not taking anybody's money, he's not borrowing money. He's using his money, so there is no possible impropriety like you have with Cruz. But on the other side, you also have Bernie Sanders, who's refusing to take PAC money and large donor money. 95% of his money comes from small donors. So he doesn't have billions of dollars of his own. But again, he's arguably a front runner on the left side that is also above reproach in this stuff. And you got to wonder, are Americans on both sides of the political aisle, are they tired of this, of where the money's coming from?
I really commend Senator Sanders for what he's doing, because I think that it's working. And although obviously I'm the complete opposite of him politically, he's making a very bold and strong statement, and that statement is reaching obviously to a lot of people. And that's what's so ironic, because it's not just Democrats that are tired of the big money. It's also Republicans and people like me who had left the party. I just had to re-register as a Republican so I could vote for Trump in the primary. But, back to the Cruz thing, if you don't mind, the other thing is, last night I went, if you go to archive.org, you can type, that's the Internet Archive. I went back and I looked at Ted Cruz's campaign website from 2012, because I wanted to see if he, what he was saying at that time. And what he said at that time was that he was bragging about, all my money comes from little people and all my donations are little. And, there were a couple of, large donations. But, he tries to portray himself. Look at his background. His background is really stellar. He's got a great, very wonderful resume. But the problem is he's trying to come off like he's some, Joe Hick from Texas. Look at my cowboy boots and look at me, I'm shooting quail. He's trying to make us think that he's something that he's not, because he's trying to relate to the average Joe. And I think it's incredibly ironic that Donald Trump, with his billions and billions of dollars, is more able to connect with regular people like me than somebody like Ted Cruz, who is, at least in my eyes now, a phony. And that's what's going to hurt him. So it's not so much that he took the money. It's not even so much that he lied about it. It's the deception. It's a huge disappointment.
And like I said, it is kind of troubling to see or hear something like this from Ted Cruz. And I don't know how. Look, going to be watching the next debate tonight?
I'm going to try. I don't have cable, but I'm going to try to get somewhere where I can see it.
This is kind of the release of this information. Now, I got to be, again, I'm a suspicious person by nature. The release of this information is rather dubious, that it comes out basically the day of or the day before the next big debate, where all eyes are going to be on Trump and Cruz. So I don't know what that really says about what Cruz has been doing or has done, especially in his Senate campaign back in 2012. I don't know if that's really going to harm him today. But evidently, people like you who did support him, at least for a VP, if not the president, but for VP, and now this sort of changes their whole view of him. Is this really affecting you enough where you say that maybe he can't be your second choice?
Yes, because initially I was supporting Cruz. He was the first to announce that I really liked him. And, then when Trump came along, I've loved Trump forever, since the 80s, and at that point, then Cruz became my VP pick, not that matters, but no, I was all in for Cruz initially. And at no point did I ever not like Cruz. I just prefer Trump, and I really like his bold and outspokenness. But, what has happened is lately, over the past couple of weeks, I've been paying close attention to what the Cruz campaign is doing. And it's been pretty disturbing. And one of the things, and I don't remember if we talked about this last time because I don't remember the timeline, but the first thing that was a big tip-off to me was that Ted Cruz was on social media saying, "Oh, I'm trying to help Scott Walker raise money to pay off his campaign debt." I'm like, oh, my God, forget it. I will never like Cruz again because Scott Walker is best friends with Reince Priebus, Paul Ryan. All those guys are all from the same area. And that was a horrible move, and it was very telling to me. And you can go online and search for Ted Cruz, establishment. You'll see their stories coming out now where Ted Cruz is now having these big meetings and big donor parties with Bush insiders and other insiders. And it's, so again, it's not that those things typically are horrible. It's that Ted Cruz has lied to us. So if it's revealed tomorrow, Donald Trump took a $10 million loan from Goldman Sachs, nobody really cares because Donald Trump's not trying to act like he's poor Joe Schmo from little old one-horse town, Texas. Does that make sense? So it's not the act itself, it's the deception behind it. And it really shows that he's just what he is. He's a career politician.
No, I get it.
Yeah, it's sad. It's disturbing.
And it is troubling, and I personally have a problem anybody lying.
Yeah, and he's continuing it too by putting out that other document to try to take the heat off the original one that he did. You don't see anybody posting the original FEC document. That's the one that matters, not the Senate financial report, because those don't even come out in time, But there's very strict reporting requirements and timelines when you're running a campaign.
Right, because basically once you lie once, it's easy to lie. You got to ask.
Yeah, it's pretty sad all the way around. Well, thank you so much again for taking my call. I really appreciate having the time to talk about my favorite guy, Donald Trump, and I love your show. Let me give a shout out to Laura, because if I don't, she might get mad at me. So, hey, Laura, thanks for telling me about the show today.
All right. Thank you very much for the call. I'm sure she really appreciates that, too. Yeah. It is. Especially when it comes to potential heroes that they get disappointed in. This is why I always say, you can't. This is for those of you who are Cruz supporters. This is only for you adamant Cruz supporters. Now, you Cruz supporters are always, bashing Hillary Clinton supporters because they're ignoring all the stuff that Hillary Clinton did. Well, now I have the question for you. I'm not saying that this is enough for you to stop supporting Cruz, but is this not something that you might want to ask Senator Cruz directly and demand an answer for clarification? I think that if you were not going to be hypocritical, that is exactly what you would be doing. Now, I'm putting that question out there. Senator Cruz, please come clean and clarify this. What the hell is going on? Because you got a lot of people who are supporting you, looking for you to be either president or vice president. You got Donald Trump, who's even mentioned you once as being a possibility for his vice presidential candidate. And now you're tainting your reputation with this. So, Senator Cruz, you're going to have to come clean. I'm sorry, you're going to have to. You're going to have to tell the truth and come clean. Plain and simple. Well, I'm sick of politicians lying and trying to get away with everything. You got to come. Period. With that said, that is the end of the program for today, folks. We'll be back here tomorrow for Freedom Friday here on the Rod Eccles Show. Until then, have a wonderful day. Up next, of course, is Rush and then Sean. Until then, I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. I'm out.